In this video, I'd like to show you a few more basics for stamp collecting. In the first group of these German stamps of the early 1920s, the stamp margins play an important part of identification. The top margins not only show the column totals, but also varying stripe arrangements. These stripes indicate rotary press printing. The lower left block with only column totals is of the flat plate printing. Margins are very important, and especially if they're used or cancelled, can be very hard to find and also can have a good catalog value. The lower right block is of the flat plate printing with row numbers 5 and 6, and also having a plate number referred to as a Hahn number, hence the capital H in front of the number. Also, on some of these you can actually see different watermarks, the top left and the bottom left particularly. All these basic things talked about factor very much into the valuation of these stamps. And if you want to go further, yes, of course, there are more things to look for, such as colors, plate flaws, and overprint varieties, and so on, which normally in a good specialized catalog are listed and have values. Without margins, some stamps, like these 6 on the right, can also be identified whether they are flat plate printing, such as is the case with every first stamp of each denomination, or rotary printing, which in every case is every second stamp of each denomination that is shown. The first blue stamp shows the 6s leaning more to the right, as do the 6s on the second stamp, and the printing is also a little coarser on the first stamp. The first olive stamp shows bolder or fatter 8s, as does the next stamp over. And the green stamp also shows a fatter set of 40s as opposed to a little bit more slimmer 40s on the last stamp. This nice German occupation block or multiple has actually much going for it. Even though it's a low value, one of the lower values in the set, but it's still a very, very nice item. Actually, it was acquired on eBay not long ago. The top margin in this case is of the rotary printing, which by a specialized catalog places it in a much better color value than had it been of the flat plate printing. It's not always that the rotary printing is better than the flat. It varies from stamp to stamp, but in this case the rotary printing is the better variety to have. The cancels are well struck and very readable, very crisp, very nicely done, but should also be expertized just to be on the safe side. I always would recommend that, especially when you're dealing with used, better stamps with a better top margin, because that adds up to a fair amount of change of this particular block if everything is legitimate. Cancels or postmarks can be very fascinating and very lucrative. Excuse me. In my opinion, the top 3 examples tell me almost nothing, except they're about as ugly as they come. In the bottom row, the first Belgian stamp has a light and well-placed cancel that tells all the specifics that normally is found in a cancel. The other 3 are also acceptable: the French, the German, the Swedish stamp. And like for a numeral cogwheel collector, the blue stamp would probably be somewhat desirable, because it does show a very crisp cogwheel with its number. Here is a small group of German Empire stamps with kind of a mix of cancels, and I would say only a very few that I would consider optically worthy. Most of them I would probably not want. Of these Chinese issues, nice cancels are not easy to find. This page shows reasonably good ones for these particular issues. And this page of German occupation stamps, World War I, has a fair number of nice cancels. And stamps that are on piece, or a piece of paper if you wish, have the advantage of showing a more complete cancel. Numeral cancels with full readable numbers, just how I like it as a postmark enthusiast. I think these are just fantastic. And here too, at close observation, even sometimes if you have same number or same city postmark, you can see sometimes slight differences in the actual canceller. For example, in the Tasmania on the top row, you can see different stripes horizontally, 4 thinner or 3 thicker, and then also the font of the word Tasmania, it differs. So you have the same thing with numerals that can be, like real heavy ones, or skinnier ones, like in the top row, the number 218. So be aware of that, because every time there is a difference, like the Tasmania cancels, for example, it's 2 different cancels. It's not the same. So it's 2 different stamps. That's how it is. Cancels in color, especially on old stamps, such as this Japanese stamps on the upper left, are not easy to find and usually come at a premium, especially with the stamp in good condition, such as this one. And I always emphasize for myself If I get a stamp, I don't want any faults, or have it nice looking and everything right with it. Otherwise, I just don't care to keep it. But that's my opinion, and I'm sure others feel differently about it. The next one over, the German Empire stamp of 1872, is quite rare and expensive. Why? Because it does have a first day cancellation. Unfortunately, I could not get a clear image, and I apologize for that. But it happens to be German Empire number 2, the second stamp issued. Or the second denomination, excuse me. The 2 British stamps were used abroad, which also adds value to them. In other words, outside of their own country. In the lower row, the German Empire stamp used in German offices in China, and the one next to it used in German Southwest Africa, value each well into 3-digit dollar amounts. With regular cancels used in Germany proper, they can be had for under $10 each. Both stamps here are referred to as forerunners. Forerunners are simply regular stamps of a colonial power which were used usually until, and sometimes a little beyond, the time when colonies had their own stamps. Any such forerunners are an excellent addition to any collection. The 2 Samoan stamps at these high catalog values and unidentifiable smudges as cancels should definitely be expertized for sure. No ifs, ands, or buts. Don't buy them this way, only if you must, if they are dirt cheap. Otherwise, I would raise a big red flag about those. Well, that's it for now. Until my next video. Thank you for watching My Fun Things.